welcome to the Mantis Show, the only podcast featuring an insect, an inanimate object, and a late episode every now and then. With me today is my co-host and audio engineer, Box Watterson.
Oh yeah.
How you liking that new title, Box?
It's pretty good.
With great titles comes great responsibilities.
It's a promotion, I think.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, sorta, and a demotion because you've got to do more work now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, Doc is no longer with us, and no, he didn't die. He didn't die. He's just he is no longer on the Mantis Show for now or the foreseeable future, and he may eventually come back. We don't know, but he's got his own personal life and stuff he's got to deal with, and I'd be lying to you if I didn't say this show takes a lot to produce every week.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not for everybody. The podcast life is hot, sweaty, and just absolutely brain aching.
Yeah, yeah. That's an understatement.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to come in every week with, some type of, I guess you could say, mind-altering topic or revolutionary way of looking at things. I mean, for some people, but not Mantis.
Yeah.
I've always got some fucked up perspectives to provide for you. This week, wow, well, first of all, I want to start by talking about Labor Day weekend. What did you do on Labor Day weekend?
Oh, the thing you're supposed to do, man. Just sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, well, you've got to do a better job of justifying the mini-sode that we released last week because of Labor.
I didn't have any extreme plans. It was you guys that had the plans. I was just taking it easy.
Yeah, we spent a nice weekend on the gun range, shooting some AR-15s, some 45s. Got to see I got some more verification that I'm meant to be an old man, and that I can't wait to grow old in a sense.
Really?
Yeah, there's this old guy there. He had these like bottle cap glasses on, and he had this weird mustache that was shaved up like by his nose.
Yeah.
But it was like the mustache was nice and full and robust down towards his lip, and it was kind of like pencil thin.
Yeah.
And this guy had an LMG from World War II.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's like a $50,000 machine gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, my God, man. I can't wait till I've got the type of cash where I can expend it on things like that. It's like, why?
Dude, I know.
It's like, I need a weapon of war.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm a fucking American, and I'm entitled to it.
Yeah, America. That's right.
I'm telling you, man, I'm getting better at shooting. I've always been really good at shooting handguns, but man, I was with Doc. I shot his AR-15. He just got a new one. And man, that son of a bitch is, oh my God, fantastic. I've never felt more invigorated in my life.
Jealous.
Other than chewing 5 gum.
Yeah.
But pretty incredible. You missed out.
I know I did.
Sucks. But we didn't want to take time out of your sitting on the couch and
know.
not doing anything on Labor Day.
Freaking, the only thing I've ever shot is a handgun. I've never even shot a rifle before.
Yeah, man, I've shot countless handguns, and I've shot a bunch of shotguns, but that was actually my first time shooting an AR.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. I see what the hubbub is all about.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always, needless to say, I'm going to get me one of those.
Oh, yeah, dude. Whenever I get some money saved, man, it's on the list. It's
going
on
down.
the list.
I see why they say that, no country will ever invade America because there's a gun behind every blade of grass.
Yes.
And if it's this type of gun, believe
Good
you
luck.
me, let me tell you. Oh, my God. The only thing is,
Good luck, North Korea.
Yeah, the only thing is when you're shooting it, it kind of smells like cat piss, like from the gunpowder. I don't know. I don't know if that's like a chemical reaction, if that's like a byproduct of the gunpowder explode. It kind of smelled like cat piss.
Maybe you got some bad rounds or something.
I don't know. A gun jammed a few times. Maybe a cat pissed on his gun before.
Yeah, for real. Exactly. Maybe that was wrong.
Yeah. Anyways, in other news this week, there is a movie that is being released, and I'm not a movie guy.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't watch movies ever. I'm always watching TV shows, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever.
Same here.
Movies are just, for the most part, a waste of time, if you ask me.
Yeah. especially after working at a movie theater. I know I've just grown to hate fucking movies.
Well, a lot of them are really predictable.
Exactly.
And a lot of times remakes are ones that I'm especially not excited about because a lot of times remakes are worse than the originals.
The only remake that I've recently watched that I actually enjoyed was what's it called? The Evil Dead or whatever, that old.
Oh yeah, they had the new one where there was literally like buckets of blood. Like
yeah, it was
like
raining blood. That movie was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that one was pretty. I actually saw that in the theaters. Actually, there was a guy behind me that kept talking, and I turned around and I was like, "Can you shut the fuck up? I'm trying to look at blood."
Jesus.
Yeah, I got really fucking angry while watching that movie. But this week, the new adaptation, the remake of Stephen King's It, is being released. What do you think about that?
I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to it. I wasn't a big fan of the original.
So the original, I tried watching that a lot as a kid, and man, oh my god, if I keep hearing this fucking popping, I tried watching that a lot when I was a kid, and never quite did it for me.
No, me either.
Never quite. I don't know if I just didn't understand it, if I was too young, but I had a really hard time following the plot. I'm like, so there's this like this clown thing that is not really a clown, but it is, and it takes kids.
Yeah, dude, freaking. I remember watching that movie as a kid, and you know that was whenever I was a kid. Every kid in the neighborhood said, "Don't watch that movie. It's too scary, too scary." And I watched it. I didn't think it was that scary, and I was a pretty terrified child growing up. I was afraid of everything.
Yeah, like you piss at the side of your own shadow.
Exactly. Exactly. But the one movie that I thought was way scarier, but looking back on it, it's not scary at all, and it's just super cheesy and terrible, but I got a deep love for it in my heart. Jeepers Creepers.
Man, that was a scary movie. And speaking of the new Evil Dead, the old Evil Dead scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because that bitch in the cellar,
I know,
stabbing in the ankle. Man, that really fucked me up.
Yeah.
What kind of parents do we have letting us watch this
I know,
shit?
Man. My mom wouldn't let me play Grand Theft Auto as a kid, but she'd let me watch that shit.
Yeah, what's up with that? Well, Stephen King's it's actually so funny because I had this story that I've been meaning to tell for 4 or 5, 6 episodes now. But I just didn't feel like the right time, and it never clicked to me that there would be a perfect time in the near future. And so I'm glad I held off. I have this encounter that happened to me, I'd say a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was around 10:30 p.m. I walked outside, and as usual, I'm fucking with my tomato plants.
Yeah.
And I go out and I clip off a little sucker off of it. It's this little branch that grows in between these main branches. I'm like, hey, I'm going to stick this in a glass of water and see if I can clone this plant without using rooting hormone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out here, I clip it, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, hey, man, what are you doing? I'm like, turn around, I'm like, what? Hey, there's this guy I've never seen before.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, this guy's standing here behind me. And I'm
At
like,
your house?
Yeah, I'm right outside of my house in my driveway, and I'm like, hi, I'm just fucking with my tomatoes. Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm Mantis. And he's like, hey, yeah, I've been looking at your tomato plants for the past few weeks. They're looking good. I'm like, is that so? Well, that's.
What else you been looking at?
Yeah,
you been looking at my windows?
That's just fine, I guess. Just, hopefully you're not looking at anything else. He's like, yeah, I talked to your neighbor, and he told me, he told me you're really into that and stuff, and we got into this, conversation. It's about 15-minute long conversation telling me that just, all this just bullshitting, man, just shooting shit, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Not really talking about much of anything. And then all of a sudden, he looks over, and I'm looking at him, and he just kind of strays off in the middle of our conversation, and he looks real distant, and I'm like, what's up? And he just looks over into my yard, and it's dark out, and there's just this dimly lit street light that's out in front of my house. And he's like, what? Did you put that there? And he just points. And I look, and there's a single red balloon that is just floating perfectly with a perfectly straight string hanging down from the bottom of it in my front yard.
What the fuck?
A single red balloon that I promise you was not there a few minutes prior. When I walked outside, I'm sure of it because I'm a normal human being. When I go outside at night, I kind of observe my fucking surroundings to make sure there's no, I don't know, chupacabras or ghosts or murderers or
Yeah.
whatever. What have you? Rabid dogs.
Fucking Sasquatch.
So I look at him like that wasn't. I'm like, did you put that there? He's like, no. Why would I ask you if you put it there? If I put it there, no. And I walk out there and I look at it, and this balloon is floating perfectly. There's no breeze. There hasn't been a breeze the entire night. And I know because I like lick my finger and I hold it up every time I walk outside just to make sure there's not a breeze. It's just a thing I do, just in case I'm wanting to, hit a few golf tees. You know
or
what I'm saying?
fly a kite.
Yeah. And I walk out and I pick up the balloon. And there's nothing that's tying it to the ground that's keeping the string so perfectly straight. And it's got literally just enough helium in it just to keep it floating right there in my yard.
What?
And I walk over to my mailbox because my mailbox is crooked. And I look down and there's this drain, this sewage grate that is by it. And I look down in there. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I fully expect to see a little, this small-faced, scary clown man that says, "We all float down here, Mantis."
Yeah.
I fully fucking expect to see that.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, man, somebody's fucking with me. And this is before the release of It. So it's not like somebody's going around and, I don't know, doing that whole helter-skelter thing like fucking Charles Manson did. Nobody's helter-skeltering me.
Well, actually, I think somebody is, because I remember seeing an article on Facebook. Somebody had been putting balloons next to all types of like sewer grates and stuff before the release of It. It was a prank.
This was like 2 months ago, though.
Well, I mean, I saw this like a week ago, and like people were calling the police, and they thought it was like a terrorist thing. So maybe somebody was doing it here. Maybe they saw a post on Facebook saying, "Hey, we should do this," and they did that. I guess, I don't know.
What's wrong with you know what? Whenever you hear about the fall of civilization, this is the type of shit that happens.
Yeah.
Whenever you're so detached from nature and any risk of your species being wiped off the face of the earth, this is the type of sick shit.
Oh, dude, even if the human race was about ready to be extinct, if there was a meteor coming towards Earth, there would be people online saying like, "Lol."
Yeah, there would still be whoopee cushions underneath the fucking seats at church.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Dude, whenever that meteor crashes, it's gonna hit this whoopee cushion and it's gonna make a big old fart sound. It's gonna be hilarious.
It's gonna be so embarrassing oh man,
Space is gonna be so embarrassed."
Oh my god. So yeah, that to me, like I said, that movie never really scared me.
Yeah.
But that single encounter was kind of like, well, maybe that movie is a little bit, it's got a little something to it.
Yeah,
or I wouldn't be
maybe.
feeling this way.
Maybe, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You think you're gonna watch it?
I'll probably, I don't know, because the old lady of mine, she doesn't really like scary movies, and I'm not a huge fan of scary movies, but I kind of want to see it. I'll probably watch it, when it comes to Netflix or Redbox.
Yeah, like everybody else.
Yeah, pretty much every movie that I ever plan to go to the theaters and see, I always just have better shit to do.
Yeah, I feel that one, man.
But, yeah, actually that's a story for another time. I'll tell that story some other time. So, I think it's about time to move on to a little bit of mansplaining.
Oh, yeah.
And in mansplaining, Mantis, the man, and his associate, Box, we kind of go through, this is a segment that has an ever-changing, it's like your life, it's ever-changing.
Yeah.
In its description. But partially because I have a hard time remembering what I said the week prior, and
it's a living document.
Yes.
It changes with the times.
It is a living document. Mansplaining, basically, we go through, we take an idea, just in general a topic that we think needs to be touched upon, We elaborate on it. We bring some different perspectives to it that you may not have thought about. It's basically an owning and an accepting of the term mansplaining. Because anytime a man explains anything, it must be mansplaining. Because we're telling you something about something you think you know everything about, but you don't. This week in mansplaining, price gouging. Yeah, it's a little bit of a heavy topic this week.
Yeah, especially with everything going on right now.
Yeah, it's not only topical, but it's serious.
Yeah.
It's something really serious. So price gouging, for those of you that don't know what price gouging is, it's basically an exploitative business practice to where, in the event of an emergency, businesses that sell products that are essential products like batteries, gasoline, water, things like that, during like emergency situations like the hurricanes that have been going on the past week, God bless our souls, they jack up the prices of things that, with the increase of demand, they jack up the prices of these products to an unreasonable amount to exploit the population. Because, I mean, if there's a hurricane fucking coming, you need gas.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to pay whatever they're charging for gas.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's not fair. I mean, and honestly, it's bad business.
It is bad business because, I mean, that's kind of the taking capitalism to the extreme.
Yeah, because, I mean, one, I saw a couple of posts on Facebook of some people that were that lived in like Alabama and stuff, and they're like, I'm gonna buy like 500 water bottles, and he's like, I'm going down to Florida, and I'm going to sell these water bottles underneath whatever all these other people are paying, and I'm gonna make a profit.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, that's the only thing that keeps businesses in normal everyday life. That's the thing that keeps them from having unreasonable prices, is competition.
Yeah.
But whenever you've got, say, a hurricane going on and you're the only guy within 10 square miles that has gas, and it's not like somebody can just bring a tanker down there and all this traffic and all this bad weather and undercut your prices. Like, it's completely unethical. And with this price gouging, it's actually illegal in a lot of states. You know that?
Yep.
And I think most states, actually, rightly so. Mm-hmm. Rightly so, because like I said, I'm all for capitalism, man. But in times like this, you shouldn't be thinking of money.
Yeah.
Your actions should not be motivated by selfish reasons.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff, that should go out the window until everything is over, and then back to business as usual.
Right, yeah, you can exploit people later.
Yes.
Right now, man, like, with Hurricane Harvey, what is it, Irma, I
whatever.
I have such a hard time
Irma,
remembering the name. I always want to say Irene, but I know I think that's a different hurricane that happened before. But you'd think I'd fucking have this all pre-prepared in my head. But I don't, because the Mantis show is a very organic show. This is really us talking about these subjects. Box usually doesn't know what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to bring up. I don't know what he's going to bring up.
Yeah.
We want to bring the most natural conversation to you as possible. But anyways, with these hurricanes going on, this is a natural disaster, but in a way, this is going to sound a little fucked up. In a way, it's kind of good for the country.
I was thinking the same thing too. And because, I was thinking, after Hurricane Harvey, because now all that's over with, I was like, okay, maybe now's a good time because the country's just fucking divided as hell.
Yeah, and
I'm like, maybe this is the point where we can just all come together, realize we're all Americans.
Yeah, you kind of get a little dose of reality that shows, hey, man, politics don't matter.
Yeah, people are people, and people's lives matter and everything like that. And you can put your political affiliations aside for a minute.
Yeah, at least you should be able to.
But, I was thinking, that maybe this was the chance. But as Hurricane Harvey was happening, freaking the French had no problem, like making fun of the victims of Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah,
by
dude.
claiming that they were Nazis and shit, and it's like, oh, just like the French.
Yeah, you'd
Just
know
like
about
the
Nazis
fucking
when you
French.
fucking French. You know what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that's the
surrendered.
that, yeah,
to
that
them,
was
you
the only
bastards.
fucking hope you guys had of defeating the Nazis.
Yeah.
Without the help of the fucking UK and the United States and all the rest of our allies, because you just fucking surrendered to them.
Dude, we should send like Sean Spicer over there by himself, and they would surrender.
Yeah, just no. We will send Melissa McCarthy impersonating Sean Spicer over there, and they'd fucking surrender.
Yeah.
Man, that's just bullshit, dude. I don't like people
Wait,
you know.
did I say Sean Spicer?
Yeah,
Oh fuck! What was I didn't mean that.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I just went with it.
What's his name? The fucking the dude that got punched originally.
Oh, Richard Spencer.
Richard Spencer. That's what I meant. Okay, we should send Richard Spencer over to France, and they would fucking surrender on the spot. They're like, oh, a single Nazi. We must surrender.
Oui, snails.
We lost.
Don't destroy the Eiffel Tower.
Yes. Oh fuck, we're doomed.
Yeah, fucking bastards.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's such poor taste. It really is, man.
Yeah.
You know, because and whenever the terror attacks happen, I can wholeheartedly say the United States, for the most part, everybody here was in support of them, and for what it's worth, stood in solidarity with them in terms of just thoughts, prayers, best of wishes, things like that. We were really, really hoping they could get over that.
Yeah.
And then this happens, and they give us a big middle finger.
We're all in support of them whenever something terrible happens to them. But if something terrible happens to us, they're like, oh, fuck you guys, you're all fucking Nazis, you pieces of shit.
Fucking bastards.
Fuck France, dude.
Yeah, fuck them. It's the worst country in the world. Fuck you.
It really is. I wouldn't live there.
No, I wouldn't either. There's not many countries that I'd want to live in, man, other than you. I mean, I'd be arrested for the things that I say, like on this show.
Yeah.
In any other country except the U.S.
I know. There's that dude in the UK that's getting arrested because he did a joke with his dog.
Yeah. What's his name? Count Dankula or something like that. Man, that's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, man.
It's like you think about it. It's. I'm not going to be cliche and reference 1984 because that's what everybody does.
But it's fucking true.
It's just so eerie. It's so eerie having read the book and then seeing how now the government doesn't even have to police us. Like our own peers police us because somebody had to fucking report him for that. So it was somebody. It probably wasn't a cop or government official that saw that video. Somebody saw that and they reported him in hopes of ruining his life, and they succeeded.
They're like, oh, this offends me.
Yeah,
but yes. Anyway, I think we're getting a little too off topic.
Yeah, we're going like Joe Rogan Experience here right now. We're getting like into these crazy tangents. But anyways, with price gouging, imagine this. This is. I'm going to read you this. This is from the legaldictionary.net. I'm just going to kind of, this is an article about hotel price gouging in the wake of Hurricane Sandy. And essentially the article says that, I'm just going to paraphrase here. There is this lodge that normally charged $79.99 per night for lodging in one of its rooms. And on the day of the state of emergency, like when the state of emergency was declared for Hurricane Sandy, back in 2012, the hotel raised its rates to $199.99.
Holy
a night.
Shit!
A 250% increase in price, and they maintained that inflated rate until November 5th. It started on October 22nd.
Fuck, dude.
Right, man. So imagine. Your family is struck by this disaster. You try to leave town, skip town, you find the nearest hotel that is within a safe area. Excuse me. And you try to book your family a hotel for that night, and more than likely for the next week to 2, maybe even 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how the flooding gets bad during
Yeah,
hurricanes.
and it takes a long time for that water to go away.
Yeah, it does. It does. And imagine the amount that you would have paid for a week at one of these hotels. Well, you're now going to get half a week.
Yeah,
You're now going to get
man.
half a week for the same price.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's completely exploiting. Like, I mean, you're not giving anyone a choice, any sort of chance to do anything different.
I mean, hell, if I was them, I would just take it as, oh, this is going to be a good week for us. You know, like, we're just going to keep our prices normal, and we're going to fucking completely fill this bitch. Because that normally won't happen.
Or make it even fucking cheaper, man.
Yeah.
Like you know, a lot of these big companies, they donate to charities. They give a part of their profits to local organizations that better the communities. Why not be like, hey, free hotel rooms?
Yeah.
Free hotel rooms. This is our giving back. This is us trying to help people, provide a helping hand.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's good business.
And I'll tell you right now, if I saw that the Holiday Inn Express did that forever, that would be the only fucking hotel chain I stay at. Just because I'm like, man, this is an ethical business.
Yes.
These people
would remember that for their entire lives.
Right. People do remember things like that.
Because they'll be like, man, I remember whenever we needed a place to stay the most in our entire life, these people looked out for us. They have our business from now until the day I die.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and it says right here that they were sued, and in the settlement, the owners agreed to pay $25,000 in refunds to wronged customers, and the state attorney fees, and the cost of the investigation.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And it's fucking good, dude.
That's the shit that's gonna happen if you try to do that shit.
Yeah,
it's like it's better to have loyal customers after doing this.
It's better to have customers that are alive.
Yes, that too. It's like, oh, who are you gonna sell hotel rooms to if?
Yeah, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, for real.
Like, come on, man.
Fuck.
And, you know,
because I mean, this is like, it's a tough issue for me because I'm more on the libertarian side of things, where I'm like, oh, business should be able to do whatever the fuck they want, but at the same time,
if a life is at risk, man, it's kind of like, if you ask me, it's what is it? It's like when Abraham Lincoln suspended habeas corpus.
Yeah. During
the Civil War, isn't that what happened?
I think so.
Yeah, and he could imprison people without trial. I mean, there's times to where things happen that if people's lives are on the line, that things change, circumstances change.
Like the draft and everything.
Right.
It's like we don't have a draft all the time, just whenever we need it.
Right. So it's imperative that we stick to our capitalist roots, but we don't let it eat us alive.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting some sort of economic change. I'm just suggesting, man,
fuck that.
Be fucking, have a heart, man.
Yeah.
Like people are literally going to die. People can literally die just because you want to make a couple extra bucks.
Yeah. And it just makes good business. Just, eat a little bit of the profits. Just do it once. And man, you got
consider it an investment.
Yeah, consider it like it's advertisement. This is good PR.
Right, because you're going to be on the news.
Yes.
100% you will be on the news.
Either you got two choices. Either you can be on the news for a good thing, or you can be on the news for fucking price gouging, and then no one will ever stay at your fucking hotel room ever again.
Right. Imagine this. It kind of reminds me of how, you remember whenever I told you I went to go get a cabin down in the mountains?
Yeah.
And then during the holidays, they jacked the fucking prices up.
Yeah.
They jacked them up like 2 or 3 times as much as they were. And it also reminds me of whenever I went to buy a dozen roses from a lady on Valentine's Day. Normally you can get a dozen roses for like 10, 15, 20 bucks. I paid $50 for a half dozen roses.
Yeah.
It wasn't a state of emergency, but it was a love emergency.
Yeah, dude.
Okay?
It was a big love emergency.
And I was pissed off about that. I couldn't imagine my life being on the line And then me running into a grocery store and needing fresh water for me and my family. And then being like, all right, that's going to be about $350.
Yeah.
300
I'm going to need about $350.
$350? Oh, like at that time, I'm going to begin looting.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Theft. Theft is coming. If my life is on the line, I'm taking the water and I'm giving you the $5 I would have normally done. Like, here, this is a fair fucking rate. Here,
I'll give you $5 worth of bullets.
Yeah. Which, depending on the gun, that could be like one bullet or half a bullet. Trust me, I spent enough money at the fucking gun range to know that bullets are way too fucking expensive.
I know, it's bullshit.
Speaking of hurricanes, though, it reminds me of a story. I remember, I have this. You ever have those memories to where you remember the climactic parts of this memory, but you don't remember what led up to it or what was going on at the time?
Uh-huh.
So I remember I was at a car wash with my grandpa. I couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 years old. And, I was a little bitty feller at the time. And we were at this car wash, and I remember these huge gusts of wind coming. My grandpa was washing his truck, and it was literally like a monsoon outside. It was pouring rain. It was piss pouring rain.
Yeah.
It was that skinny stinging rain.
Ah, the stinging rain.
The stinging rain. And I remember seeing all these trash cans. They have the trash cans there to where you can just throw your shit out of your truck or car into it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them blow away.
Oh, fuck.
And when they blew away, they blew into the sky, and I didn't see them anymore.
Oh, shit.
I didn't see them anymore. And, well, the wind was coming one direction, and the opening of the car wash, the little tunnel, was the opposite direction. So if you're inside of the tunnel, you didn't really feel anything. Well, I wanted to go out and feel the skinny stinging rain and try to see where the hell that trash can went. And I walked out there, and I heard my grandpa yell, "No!" And I remember being swept up into the sky.
What?
The wind was so strong, it lifted me up. And I swear to God, I don't know if this was a dream, but I remember it so clearly. Like, I need to ask my grandpa about this. I remember him grabbing my hand and holding me like he was flying a fucking kite. And he pulled me down out of the air and put me in the truck. And I was like, oh my God.
What?
Yes, I remember being literally swept up into the air like a cow in Alice in Wonder, or what's the name of the fucking Yellow Brick Road thing?
Well, I was thinking of like in fucking Willy Wonka, whenever they drank that soda
like that.
and you just start fucking floating.
The Wizard of Oz. I said the Yellow Brick Road thing, the movie, The Wizard of Oz. I felt like it was literally like I wasn't in Kansas anymore. I was in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and I had just eaten candy that I was specifically told not to.
Yeah.
And I was swept up into the sky.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking insane?
Dude,
So,
I've always thought about that.
like about that actually happening, like that
Yes.
that's a legitimate thing that can happen to you.
What the fuck? Because you see that shit in the movies, I'm like, dude, the way
I ain't never seen no wind like that before.
Yeah, I ain't never seen no fucking wind like that before. Like fucking, I've been out whenever it's like I've been around tornadoes and stuff, and even most tornadoes can't pick a person up,
Yeah. A lot of times, you just have like breaking of windows and stuff.
Just because of like the way a human body is like built, we're not very like air resistant.
Yeah, we're not very parachutey. Like we don't capture air.
We're not like fucking flying squirrels or anything. And like if we just open our arms and whoo,
Yeah. Some middle-aged women are like that.
Oh yeah.
But
They might have a problem, but most people, you just stand outside and you're just like, it's a stinging rain.
the stinging rain from the wind. Like that's usually the biggest problem. I thought that was gonna be my only issue.
Or your garbage can just rolls down the road.
Yeah,
Nothing like.
Needless to say, I didn't expect to step out of the little protective tunnel and be swept up into the eye of some fucking storm that I.
Oh my! Imagine the story your fucking grandpa would have had to tell your parents.
Imagine the story that he has that he's never told my parents and that I've never told my. They would have been so mad. My grandpa, I remember, my grandpa got in trouble with my mom a lot because I'd come home And my mom will be like, what the hell is that? And I'll be like, oh, it's a skinning knife. Papaw gave it to me.
Yeah.
He gave it to me for skinning squirrels and rabbits and deer and shit. They're like, she's like, you're 5 years old. You don't need that sharp-ass thing. Give me that. And I remember my mom got so mad. You know, mothers get really weird and sentimental about stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like baby shoes and like baby blankets.
Oh, dude, I know.
So my grandpa took me to get my first haircut because I'd never had a haircut before. And he was like, well, God almighty, you do not look presentable with that. Let's go. And he took me to a fucking barber shop and cut every bit of my hair off. And when he dropped me off at my house, my mom was like, oh! She immediately started crying. She's like, what happened to my babe? Why did you do this? She's like, the boy didn't. He looked like he was a damn hippie. He just didn't have. He had all this damn hair. Couldn't even see. So my grandpa was always getting in trouble with stuff. So I could just imagine the conversation. Well, he almost got swept away in a storm up into the outer space.
I'm just imagining what if you did get swept away. The shit he would have to say, just be like, well, he was sitting there, and then he just took a step out, and then he flew away.
They would be like, liar, you kidnapped him. Where is he? It's so unbelievable.
You probably left him at Walmart and a fucking pedophile snatched him or something. No, he just flew away.
Literally, he just flew away. He just disappeared up with a bunch of these trash cans.
Oh my god, dude, that would be fucking awesome.
No, it wouldn't, because I'd be in the sky somewhere. I'd be laying dead, impaled by some spiky tree somewhere in the woods.
Oh my god, but I'm just imagining your parents just...
You know my mom. You know what her reaction would be.
She would kill your grandpa.
Oh my god, she'd be down there like a split fucking second. She'd do the whole wind up windmill punch and hit him, and he'd go flying. And she'd say he just disappeared. He just flew into the sky.
Oh my god!
And it had nothing to do with my uppercutting of him. Good
shit,
god, man. Oh, anyways. So a little surprise on the Mantis show today, and better late than never. We have a guest in studio today, who's actually been here for the entire duration of this episode. It's a good friend of mine in boxes, and his name's Skivvy. Say hi, Skivvy.
Hi.
And he doesn't have any sort of disability or anything like. He's a normal guy.
No.
Okay, so Skivvy has been in here the entire time, and we didn't trust him enough to turn on his mic and until now. But just kidding. But anyways, earlier Skivvy actually had something. He had a story, a little anecdote, which is kind of what we're famous for here on the Mantis show. Usually my anecdotes are boxes, never a guest because we've never had a guest. But he had a little anecdote that kind of tied into my little experience at the gun range, my shooting. He got to experience the pinnacle of weaponry. How about you tell us about that?
All right, Mantis. So I'm about to lay some crap down on y'all. So I was 11 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
My uncle was a drunk and was just crazy. And I don't know. He used to I lived up in the woods, just out back, up in the fucking hills, you know.
Yeah.
Did you fuck your cousins?
We didn't. No, it came close, but we didn't fuck our cousins. You know,
Kissing doesn't count.
Kissing isn't the same. So what? Your first sexual experience is with a family member, as long as it's, you know, it was different.
As long as it doesn't reach third base.
Yeah, it's different in the hills.
It's lonely up there.
Yeah.
Anyways, what?
Everyone up there is your cousin. So, anyway, I'm up there with my uncle, and he was just a gun fanatic. You know, he just loves guns. He's
a real American.
A real American, yeah. Like, he's always wearing camo, like, just always drunk. Always has a gun with him and a fishing pole in the back, you know. He's really just an outdoorsman, just 100%, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I always looked up to him, you know.
That's somebody I'd look up to.
Yeah, you know, he was always taking me out and doing stuff, and you know, while we're up in the hills, he'd be, you know, out in the woods, whatever. I'd go out hunting with him or go fishing with him. You know, he'd give me a shot of whiskey, or, you know.
He's the
Didn't
bad.
matter.
He's the. Everybody's got the cool uncle that always lets them do shit that they're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm up in the woods with him, and he brings over a 50 caliber muzzle loaded black powder rifle.
Oh, fuck.
No tripod, no nothing. Just here it is, boy. Let's shoot it. You know, and
Oh,
I'm like,
shit.
yes.
How old were you again?
I was 11.
11.
Yeah, that's a
Holy
pinnacle
fuck.
for an 11-year-old right there.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, most grown men couldn't handle that.
And I had shot some of his guns before, and you know, had injuries myself.
Yeah.
You know, just from the kickback, and I don't know how I never learned my lesson, but I'm gonna get into it now. You know, so anyway, so you know, he gives me this rifle, like he shoots it, and it's so loud, and I'm a little bit intimidated at first, to be honest. So you know, he shoots it, and he asks me, you know, do you want to shoot it? I'm like, yeah. I know.
I'm 11 years old. Hell yeah, let me shoot that.
I know, bitch. Let me see. You know? So I draw a picture of Hitler on a piece of OSB plywood, and I take it up in the woods. I take it way back there. Like, I think I'm good, and I look at him, and he says, you know, no, take it further on back. You can shoot it from farther back.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I put it way back in there, to the point that I can barely even see my uncle anymore. So I go on back, and he has me load it. And dude, I remember my little 11-year-old arms. It's the hardest fucking thing in the world for me to muzzle load this fucking bullet, you know. And so, like I said, there's no tripod or anything. I have this thing mounted underneath my armpit.
Oh, no.
Underneath my armpit, because I'm too small. Like, I was 11, but I was a small 11-year-old. You know, I'm small now. I imagine how small I was then, you know. So it's under my armpit, and I have the scope, like, right on my nose.
How do you even see out of it? You got an eye in between the fucking bridge of your nose?
No, it was like I was angled a little bit, you know, like my right eye was like down. Anyway, so, you know, first I'm trying to figure out the scope, because if you haven't shot a gun with a scope before, it's kind of hard to figure out, because it's not like in a video game where you pull up the scope and it's just automatically there.
Yeah, you have to line the front of the scope up with the rear lens of the scope.
It's got to be, it's black until you get it in the right position. You have to be still to keep it there. So I'm trying to just see my target. And my uncle's giving me the exact same speech he's given me every single time. Squeeze the trigger, don't pull it.
Yeah, well, how about he gives you that fucking speech to where he says, put the gun on your shoulder instead of underneath your fucking arm.
He knew I was too small. It was his idea.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
It's like, it's fine. Whenever he's hurt after this, we'll just give him some whiskey.
Yeah. He did. I'll get into that. So, anyway, you know, he's giving me the same speech he gives me every single time. You know, like I said, don't squeeze the trigger. You know, he's telling me just stupid things like, you know, never point a gun at a person unless you're ready to kill him. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, real stupid stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm tired of hearing the same speech over and over. So while he's talking, I got my crosshairs right onto my target. So
your uncle.
yeah. So he's talking to my ear. I'm ready, and I think about it for like a split second. Should I listen to him the rest of the way, or should I go ahead and squeeze this trigger? I fucking squeezed it. I squeezed that fucking trigger, and boom! It fucking comes back. It hits me like immediately. It, you know, it knocks the kickback on it. It came back and hit me on the bridge of my nose, and I don't even remember like the actual the impact of it actually hitting me. All I really remember is the feeling on my face. And, somehow I handed him the gun, and I looked down, and blood was just pouring from my nose.
Oh, man.
And I broke my nose.
Oh, my God.
I broke my nose shooting this gun. So I look up at him, and I smile at him.
Yeah.
I smile at him. I didn't cry.
Shit.
I smile at him. I'm like, I shot a 50 caliber rifle. No tripod, 11 years old, broke my nose shooting it, and I'm going to greet you with a smile. Yeah. So he said, he looked at me. He smiled. He said, "Go inside, boy. Go clean yourself up."
Yeah.
So I go inside. I look at my brother. Blood still just, it's on my shirt. You know, it's just pouring down. I look at my brother who's like on the computer or whatever, and he looks up at me and he's like, "What the fuck happened to you?" You know? I was like, "I shot that gun."
Yeah.
You know, he was like, "You did?" Yeah. So, you know,
man.
it ended with, you know, I went back outside after I got cleaned up. You know, we had a shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we went up and checked to see the target.
Mr. Old Adolf
Had his fucking chin blown off. I hit my fucking target, dude. Got a headshot, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, I was kind of hoping you'd say you got him right on the little stash, like right on the little.
I wish, man. No, I got to be honest about the story though. Like that probably would have made the story better, but no.
Yeah, that's what you should have said though for the show.
Yeah.
That's what you should have told the listeners.
We
He hit
can
it right.
embezzle a little bit here.
Edit that out. He hit it right on the nose, right on the mustache.
Right on the mustache.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna have to bring you back on. We're definitely gonna have to bring you back on.
Yeah, I'd be happy about that.
Yeah, you haven't made an embarrassment of, you know, and a mockery of the Mantis show like I thought you were going to.
I mean, you
This is
do
a
that well enough
prestigious
yourselves.
podcast.
You son of a bitch. Edit that out.
No, seriously, guys.
It's staying in.
I've been a really big fan of the Mantis show. You know, Mantis and Box have been two of my best friends since middle school, really. And you know, I'm honored to be on the show right now, and you know, it's something that they've really been working really hard for. And I've listened to every single episode.
Yeah, you really have.
I've listened to raw, uncut versions of it before,
Which is awful. I don't understand why you listen to them before we edit them.
before they were really even releasing any episodes, and just testing it out and testing the waters and seeing if they felt like they were comfortable with it. They were sending it to me, and I was listening to it, and I was 100% encouraging. I thought, I've always thought everything that they were doing was great, and I really am just honored to be on the show.
Yeah, I mean, man, we really appreciate having you, and like, man, we appreciate any words of encouragement from anybody that we get, because we honestly, it may not seem like it, but we work our asses off on this show. We really fucking do, and we really try our hardest to bring good content and entertaining content, and man, the podcasting world, a lot of it's fucking boring, and it's all the same.
Yeah.
A lot of it's the same.
True crime,
just NPR bullshit to where they spend $10 million on researching some dude that grew up in the Congo. It's all the same.
Yeah.
The dad who has their kid record some stuff.
Yeah, literally, that's it. And
Welcome
I like
to episode 374 of the Harry Potter podcast.
yeah, and it's like, man, we're just trying to bring a little original content, and I know that sometimes we don't do a great job of keeping up on like politics and current events, but man, the real world's fucking depressing most of the time.
Yeah.
So we're here to take you away from that as much as we can. Sometimes, we're gonna touch base down to reality, and we're gonna talk about topical things.
I mean, I think that's important. I think you guys do a really good job of that. I think it's important, if somebody had a rough day and they know it's Thursday and, the Mantis show is coming out, and a lot of people, I'm sure, look forward to that. I know I always do.
Yeah, we've gotten a couple messages on Twitter of people saying, look forward to it every week.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are punctual, and they know that on Thursday.
Yeah, and well, it sucks too, because the past few weeks have been really rough for the show. There's been a lot of setbacks, a lot of issues, and now with Doc leaving and everything, things have been a little wild and crazy here, but so our punctuality has actually slipped away just ever so slightly.
Well, it's important to you still, and that's
and I mean it's still like, rest assured. Sorry guys, like my throat is just like fucked up today. There's all these allergies, damn pollen. But the show means a lot to us, and you guys mean a lot to us. And every single listener, like even if there's just one of you out there, the fact that there's even one person listening to the Mantis show, let alone, the hundreds that listen every week.
It's enough to make us keep doing it every week.
Yeah, it is. And it's something like, it means a lot to us. And I can tell you this, the podcast that I listen to, I absolutely, it pisses me off whenever I can't listen to them. Whenever I look and there's not a new episode every week, or like it's a holiday, so they don't post one, I'm like, fuck, man. this sucks. Like, a part of my day is gone now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, Box, you know what we're going to do?
What?
We're going to start recommending podcasts to people.
Schmucks. Listen to Schmucks.
Listen to hey, that's recommendation number 1. Schmucks. Listen
Needs
to Schmucks.
cast.
Never listened to it, but I've watched the YouTube channel. But we're not giving too many plugs here, okay? Schmucks. Listen to the Schmucks podcast. That's the Mantis, Box, and Skivvy recommendation of the week. It's going to be Schmucks podcast. Give it a listen. It's ran by Psychic Pebbles. He has some really awesome guests on there. He has Michael from Vsauce.
Yeah, that was his last one.
Yeah, great stuff. But I think it's about time to wrap this up. Put a nice little bow on it.
Yeah.
You've been listening to The Mantis Show. Please tune in next week, guys. Make sure to leave us, rating and review on iTunes. Subscribe, like, comment, share, have sex with. Do whatever you can to promote this show. And I'd like to ask you out there, everybody, make sure to send your thoughts and prayers or good vibes or whatever other rebellious way you want to wish good fortune upon everyone affected by all these natural disasters. Just seriously, if you can, donate to any relief funds. Do whatever you can to help out your fellow man, because we're all people after all. See you next week.